Hustle culture has taught us to grind like God hasn't already made a way. Like, why do I need to go and try to break down the walls and drive through the barriers and dig through the concrete to see if that thing is there for me? Like, I don't already know that it exists for me. The grind is never intended to be a human aspect. We're not designed to grind 24/7. We're not designed to rest when we die. Nobody is better than you. They may be luckier than you because they may have a little bit more knowledge that you don't have. But that can change today. It could change tomorrow. Let's get started. Some of us are hustling 12 hours a day, spinning the wheels, checking off to-do lists, working harder, going longer, and yet we're still feeling stuck. And we're wondering why. Rest is not laziness, it's spiritual obedience. And a lot of people have forgotten that. And that is why they are burnt out and depleted and completely unwound. And mind is unhealthy, body is unhealthy, spirit is unhealthy. These are the indicators of that. When you stop grinding for validation, you can start building for vision. In that aspect, you're no longer putting in the work for the purpose or perception of others. You're putting in the work for self. You're putting in the work for contribution. You're putting in the work for a higher purpose and intention. You're putting in the work for a design plan. That's kind of what social media has taught us, and it has created this hustle grind culture that has made people crazy almost. It has depleted a lot of people's lives. But here's the gag in all of that. The gag is nobody's pockets is as big as you think they are. They are really good at perception. They're really good at showing you exactly what they want you to believe, and you fall for it every single time. And here is the worst part about that. You take false pretenses and you go and take that, and that is what you compare your life to be. You're grinding towards something that doesn't even exist for someone else, but in your mind, you've believed it to be. Invite and welcome ease while you're on this journey. Have things come to you and flow to you with ease and structure. It is okay to say, I want a life of ease. I don't want to get it out the mud. I don't want to have to grind it out. I don't want to have to hustle 24/7. God will provide to you what you feel like you deserve, what you desire, and what you have called out in free will. If you feel like you have to work hard for that thing to come to you, then guess what? It's not going to come to you until you work hard. If you feel like you have to just get up every day and feel good and have your spirit be aligned with the thing that it is that you're desiring, guess what? It'll come to you like that. That's what I do. I'm not working hard anymore. But I have a rule in my world. I'm not working more than 4 to 6 hours a day, because 4 to 6 hours a day is all that I have in me. High functioning. Everything after 4 to 6 hours a day, I'm literally just going through the motions with you. And it's probably not just me. I want you to also understand how that feels for you. Working an 8-hour shift a day, by the time you reach that 4 to 6 hour mark at that job, you're depleted. You're really on autopilot at that point. You really have no more to give. So at that particular point, you're just going through the motions. So I would tell myself, I am not working no more than 4 to 6 hours a day. And the things that I desire is going to come to me with ease. And in my intentional 4 to 6 hours a day, I will do intentional work in order for me to support exactly what it is that I want to do. That means it's not about the amount of time that you spend doing something. It's about what you're doing with the time in that time block. So if I spend that 4 to 6 hours and 2 hours of that, I'm scrolling on social media, and an hour of that I'm eating lunch, and an hour of that I'm talking to my friends, and I take those last 2 hours or so, and that's what I'm intentionally putting on my work. I spent 2 hours out of the day working. But if I take those 4 to 6 hours and I intentionally focus, I intentionally work, and I have the rest of the day to be leisure, to fill up again, to fill my spirit up, to fill my mind up, to fill my body up. I have the rest of the time with my day to do the things that brings me fulfillment. That means now I don't feel depleted and burnt out, and I am intentionally focusing at the same time, and I'm enjoying my life, and God is allowing things to flow to me with ease because I feel good. But I set these boundaries, and these boundaries are, while I'm awake in this time block, from this time block, this is what I would do with my time intentionally. And because of that, at the end of the week, I will have more done working 4 to 6 hours than I did on a grind working 12 to 16 hours a day doing multiple things that wasn't intentional and purposeful. That is how you defeat The grind. That's how you get more things done. Billionaires do not work all day. They don't. And it's not because they have $1 billion and they can hire 1 million people to do their tasks. They understand intentional focus, intentional timing. So ease isn't the enemy of success. Chaos is. And structure is a form of self-respect. Again, everything that we're doing and everything that we're talking about in this particular episode is for you to understand that no other equation matters other than yours. In this aspect, we're going to set systems that serve us and not systems that drain us. We're going to get rid of the things that don't work and double down on the things that do. Because when we start to let the things that don't work get in the way, now we're prolonging the pathway and the time that is going to take us to achieve that thing. We don't want to do that. The main thing I want you to remember is you're not here to survive your way through life. We were designed with purposeful and meticulous intention. And that is how our life should be. Every day you have to call out what those intentions are. Why am I doing this today? How will it impact not just myself, but my people, society overall? How can I serve? What is my contribution? If you're not coming from a place of that particular mindset, it's never going to work for you long term. Proverbs 23:7. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So if your thoughts are rooted in fear, you'll build a life around surviving. And I'm not just talking about 1 year, 2 years. I'm talking about an entire total life will be built around surviving. You'll be living paycheck to paycheck. You'll always be asking to borrow. You'll always be calling around for favors. You'll live a life of fear. You'll live a life of totally surviving. And if your life is rooted in divinity, then you'll live a life of divine alignment. It will just be that way for you. You would never have to worry, knowing that it is already covered for you. You would get up every day and you'll feel good knowing that it is already provided for you and knowing that God is prevailing over you. So no matter what man said, no matter what roadblocks are in your way, no matter what's happening in the economy, none of that matters because it is already designed for you. And that's how you have to approach every single aspect of what it is that you do. We're going to nurture our new normal. We are not just going to tiptoe into peace. When we call out this new normal about ourselves, when we start to refocus and reframe how we're thinking, we're moving in. We're taking over. We're kicking things out. I did Rihanna songs. I'm breaking pictures up in here all night. I ain't gonna stop until I hear police and lights. I'm about a man tonight. So yeah, we're not just visiting peace. We're moving in, honey. We're kicking the doors down. We're reclaiming and we are taking ownership and we're not allowing other people to come in and disrupt that anymore. And by other people, I also mean ourselves. We're not allowing our mind to disrupt that. We're going to have peace and peace within. I hear a lot of people say, oh, I just want peace. I just want to be peaceful. Peace is not something that you go and find. Peace is not something that you can tangibly touch. Peace is not something that you will find rooted in anything other than yourself. It's within you. It starts in the mind first. It starts in the mind, and that comes from the spirit. You can't find peace from other people. You can't find peace in other things. You have to find peace within yourself. No matter what the circumstances are and who you're dealing with, you must always dwell within your peace. I want you to remember that you're not trying to fix yourself in this process. Like, you're not broken. Nothing is wrong with you. Well, I have a son, he's autistic. And one of the things that he used to say all the time is, I don't know what's wrong with my mind. And I would tell him, nothing is wrong with you. Why do you feel like something is wrong with you? Nothing is wrong with you. And I used to tell him that over and over every single time he would get frustrated and shut down and he can't verbalize what he's trying to say and his mind is just, playing tricks on him. And I would tell him, nothing is wrong with you unless you believe it is. And then over time, every single time he would stumble or have a hard time, he would just breathe, take a minute, say what he's going to say. But I had to tell him that doesn't just happen to you. When people are frustrated, they tend to stumble over their words. When people are frustrated, they tend to forget their thoughts. When people are frustrated, they tend to not think clearly. It's just amplified because of your autism. So there's nothing wrong with you. You just have to learn how to reframe, reset. This is all it takes. So you're not fixing yourself. You're just reconditioning a little bit. It's resetting the tone so that you can start from a different vantage point. You cannot just do this one time and think that this is the only time that it's necessary. When you are reconditioning the soil, per se, you have to tend to it daily. You have to feed it the right nutrients and you have to fertilize it the right way and you have to put it in the right environments and for it to do what it needs to do. This is a daily intentional, purposeful thing that you must do until the mind starts to have its be a second nature thing to you. It's going to take some time because your mind is going to want to default to how you always respond to things around you. And you're going to have daily action to feed it new things and say, hey, we're not doing that today. That's not how we're going to respond to this. I had this really bad myself. I'm going to tell you about a time where I was severely overworking myself. I was running 2 companies. When I first started in entrepreneurship in 2013 is when I started to get my feet wet. 2014, I became a little bit more knowledgeable in the space of beauty and launched my, what at the time, half done beauty company. In 2016, I made a rebrand and got it all together. By 2018, I quit my full-time job at the police department, went full-time running my beauty company. I had high 6 figures within the 2 years of me quitting my job, and everything was just going well, but I was overdoing it. I was grinding it out. I was at every networking event. I was at every mixer. I had all the clients. I was running 2 companies because I had opened a second one at this particular point. Afraid to give up money, so wasn't really hiring help, wasn't really inputting knowledge so that I can output better. And I was just on this hamster wheel 24/7. And I could have had things happen for me in a much greater space had I stopped, taken time to assess what's happening with self and put some things into place, because here is what happened to me just a few years later. So we fast forward to 2019, my mother was killed. That was very out of the blue and unexpected, of course, very random, but I wasn't prepared for that. Nobody is, right? But it took me into a space that if I would have been nurturing and cultivating previously, I may not have fallen so much by the wayside. But here is the thing, and God has a funny way of doing all of this, because that would just be the start of the entire process of adversity. And so in 2020, I was now going through a divorce. I was married for almost 12 years and together for 16. And then in 2022, I was diagnosed with cancer. So it's like I couldn't sit down and I couldn't stop the grind myself. So I feel God stopped it for me. And the circumstances surrounding that was very unfortunate, but I made it through the grief with grace. And that's simply because I felt like I was having a time of my life prior to my mom passing. And it was like a building for me, like something was building inside of me that was preparing me for that. I'd been depressed 28 years of my life prior to that. Imagine my entire adult life until age 28, I was severely depressed and unexplainably depressed. Like nothing, I can't tell you why. I was just depressed to the point where it would be days where I didn't eat, days where I didn't get out of the bed, days where I didn't see sunlight. I was just depressed. Year 29, I got up one day randomly and I said, this is it. I'm done feeling this way. I don't know what this is, but I'm not claiming it over myself anymore. And I decided to get up every day, one thing at a time, one day at a time. Every single day I got up. Year 29 was the year that I lost my mom. And I felt like that whole year, something was just happening. But I started to get up, reclaim my mindset, reclaim my energy, reclaim how I was reconditioning. Forget it. This happened to me. That happened to me. This happened to me. This person did this to me. This person did this to me. These are my life experiences, but this does not define me. And I got up and it set me on the best year of my life from that point. I would later discover that if I hadn't have done that and had to also go through my mom's passing, that I probably wouldn't have survived that. Me being an overworker while suffering with functioning depression created a state of unhappiness and unfulfillment in my life and brought me to a space where I could no longer survive doing so. It depleted me in every way. It made me sick, mentally, spiritually, and physically sick. And had I not listened to what God was trying to tell me to do, I would not be here talking to you today about this. So all you need to know is that your mind has been operating from broken beliefs. That's it. And you can fix that. When you're operating from broken beliefs, it doesn't matter how much action you take, nothing is going to work for you. And eventually, the hope that you have behind those broken beliefs is going to start to feel like defeat and despair. And you're going to want to quit and give up. You're going to start being desperate and searching for anything that can help you. And we don't want to get there. We want to stay aligned. We want to stay intentional. Your mindset is like the GPS of this entire ship. It will take you where you need to go. You must build it, the system, and it has to be high functioning if you want it to work and weather the storm. So I want you to write your new normal before you leave and go on to the next course of action throughout the day. I want you to take some time, like 5 minutes or so, and intentionally write your new normal for your life. With whatever it is that you're going through right now that you're not happy with, you don't have to deal with that. You can start by creating a new normal for yourself. So I want you to write it down. I want you to ask yourself, how do you want to think? If you don't have the thought processes or you don't have the skill to think on a high level right now, whatever the case may be, I want you to literally write down what your desired thinking level should be for yourself. How do you want to think when it comes to situations in your life, business in your life, money in your life, people in your life? How do you want to think? And then I want you to write down, how do you want to feel on a day-to-day basis when you're going through, just idly going through life, diddly-dallying? I want you to write down, how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel about money? How do you want to feel about work? How do you want to feel about a partner? How do you want to feel about your friendships? How do you want to feel about being a parent? Write down, how do you want to feel in all of these aspects? And then here's a tough one. I want you to write down, how do you want to feel when things get hard for you? Because adversity is upon all of us. There will never be a time where you go through life and it is just strictly autopilot 100% of the time. Even when you start to work on yourself, and even when you start to change, and even when you start to get better, there will always be bouts of adversity. So I want you to write down, how do you want to deal with things when things get hard for you? What is your course of actions that you would like to take? And how do you feel like you would like to maneuver through that when things get hard for you? This will help you to see what you're not currently doing and what you can start to put in motion for yourself, even if you're in adversity right now. It'll work. I want you to write this down, put it somewhere that you see it daily. For me, if I am on a journey where I'm trying to reframe or recondition my mind or my spirit, I put things in a bathroom. Everybody goes in the bathroom at least twice a day. And that is a great reminder. If you don't want to put it on a sticky note, then write it on a sheet of paper, make it all plain, tape it to your mirror in the bathroom. It is the easiest way to be reminded of the very thing that you need to do, or how you need to think, how you need to feel, how you need to go about these processes. It's the easiest way for you to remember. So we're reprogramming our mind to match our future. That's what we're doing. We're giving our future self a greater chance of winning. Anytime you want to do anything future-wise, you start in the future first and work yourself backwards. Abandon the past. The past doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I want you to get it through your mind right now that the past does not matter. It doesn't matter what your childhood was like. It doesn't matter how you were raised. It doesn't matter the amount of money you had. It doesn't matter what people did to you back then. It doesn't matter. That relationship failed, somebody hurt you. It doesn't matter anymore. If you're focused on really wanting a high future self, you have to abandon the past. The past does not matter. You lost all that money in that business. It doesn't matter. It's done. It's over. You can't get it back. And I like to say forward thinking, backward motion. And the reason being is because I'm going to take myself to the future. And from there, I'm going to reverse engineer what I have to do in my current present reality in order for me to get there. Past, we don't dwell there. Matter of fact, it doesn't matter. Memories, do what you need to do to condition the mind to believe it doesn't matter. So if you want some accountability, hey, DM me your new normal. Tell me, hey, Nicole, I saw your YouTube video, or I saw you on TikTok, or I saw you on Instagram, and I wanted to DM you and tell you what my new normal is so that I can see it. And I've talked about it and I've told someone about it. DM me. I'm very active in my DMs. I'll read it. I won't read DMs that are not purposeful. I leave those sitting there. But the ones that are, I'll read it. I'll respond to you. I'll talk to you. You need somebody to powwow with. You need to do a little sparring. You need to get yourself together. If I have to be that person for you, I do not mind doing that. So just remember, at the end of the day, you're not lazy, you're not broken, but you do need to get your mindset in order. That you cannot outwork a mindset that is out of order, that is working against yourself, that is being in the boat, trying to pedal upstream and not going anywhere. That is walking on an escalator the wrong way. Okay, you are working against yourself. Okay, so I'm going to close out by reminding you that you don't need to hustle harder. You just need to be in alignment. You just need to be in trust. You just need to be in faith. You just need to speak things over yourself that is aligned with where you want to go, who you want to be, and how you want to do those things. Remove everything out of the path that doesn't align with that. It's just going to slow you down and prolong you getting to that place. And I know you can get to that place. Until next time, guys, I'm Nicole Swanson. If you like this video, share it with a friend, comment below, tag me, subscribe, all the stuff. I'll see you on the next one.